Hello, I'm Jonathan Lewis. I have made a study of Jewish chaplaincy in the British Armed Forces, and that has led me to take an interest in the topic of Jewish responses to nuclear weapons. On almost all subjects, there is no single Jewish view. The decades of the Cold War prompted a spectrum of Jewish responses on nuclear weapons, from scientists, philosophers, and authorities on Jewish law. Several Jewish scientists, including prominent European refugees, were active in nuclear research and the Manhattan Project, believing that it was essential to develop an atomic weapon before the Nazis did so. Some, including Albert Einstein and Robert Oppenheimer, later came to regret their role and strongly opposed nuclear armament. "I have become the destroyer of worlds," said Oppenheimer. Others advocated nuclear supremacy, including the primary architect of the H-bomb, Edward Teller, who strongly supported President Reagan's strategic defense initiative, Star Wars. Samuel Pisar, a Holocaust survivor and a prominent international lawyer, wrote, "Standing in the shadow of the crematoria, I wish to give witness to humanity that it is possible to turn the whole world into a crematorium by the use of nuclear weapons." The dominant ethical justification of nuclear armament is deterrence. Yet if deterrence failed and the Soviet Union launched a nuclear attack, should the West respond in kind? Yes, said some philosophers like Sidney Hook. Some ways of existence constitute lives which are not worth living, he said. Unilateral disarmament would encourage Soviet aggression. A nuclear war would be prevented by a strong nuclear deterrent and the willingness to use it. No, said others like Bertrand Russell, it would be better to live red under communist domination than be dead with the annihilation of the human race. And so they advocated unilateral disarmament. In the 1960s, the same debate developed within Judaism. Leading American Rabbi Morris Lamb argued that Jewish law would mandate a nuclear response, despite the possibility of mass annihilation. While for an individual it might be better to live under communist rule than to give up his life, this was not an option for the Jewish people, nor for the West as a whole. Not so, said the philosopher Michael Wyshegrod. The concept of martyrdom, which Lamb had invoked, was premised on individuals sacrificing themselves whilst others survived elsewhere, a prospect which was not guaranteed in a nuclear conflict. British Chief Rabbi Emanuel Jakobowitz argued that a war which was likely to endanger the survival of the attacking and the defending nations alike, if not indeed of the entire human race, could never be justified. At the same time, Jakobowitz justified the possession of nuclear weapons as a deterrent, even if they were never to be used. Faced with the imminent threat of its destruction in a nuclear attack, which is called in Israel the Samson option, any nuclear-capable country would be obliged to take preemptive action. Israel launched preemptive strikes on Iran in 1981 and on Syria in 2007, designed to prevent nuclear proliferation by a country which repeatedly threatens to destroy Israel. Jewish law would probably sanction such attacks on the basis of self-defense to save life, which is amongst the highest values of Judaism. In Jewish law, the subject of nuclear weapons is immensely complex and uncertain. In a nuclear war, people would perish in vast numbers. In the absence of an effective conventional alternative, the use of tactical or battlefield nuclear weapons, designed solely to be used on the field of battle and to result in the destruction of the combatants, would, after proper warning and the seeking of peace, probably be permissible in Jewish law. However, in a situation of mutually assured destruction of human life on Earth, the use of nuclear weapons would probably be forbidden. As always, everything would depend upon the facts of the situation. Let us pray that this always remains a theoretical question.